The Painted Cave Fire and the Floods of March 1991, a presentation of the Santa Barbara County Flood Control District. June 27, 1990, strong downhill winds pushed the Painted Cave Fire from the foothills into the residential areas of Santa Barbara. The fire leaves behind a path of almost total destruction, covering an area of nearly 5,000 acres. After the flames are extinguished, the sigh of relief is short-lived. The Santa Barbara County Flood Control District warns that the denuded watershed of Maria Ignacia Creek poses a severe danger of flooding and debris flows. The Flood Control District's warning is based on the fact that the lack of ground cover and hydrophobic soils will cause high runoff, and that this high runoff will carry with it ashes, unprotected soil, and debris left by the fire. Of particular concern are debris flows, such as the one shown in this footage taken in Los Angeles by the U.S. Geological Survey. Debris flows are not new to the south coast of Santa Barbara County. The most recent debris flows occurred at the Romero Fire in 1971 to the Coyote Fire in 1964. Based on historical evidence and research by others, the Flood Control District determines that a storm with sustained intensities exceeding 1 inch per hour on a previously wetted watershed would cause massive debris movement. With emergency funding and assistance provided by the Soil Conservation Service, the Flood Control District prepares an emergency watershed protection plan. The plan calls for clearing creeks of obstructive vegetation, erosion control measures, emergency levees, and as the main element, 2 debris basins on Maria Ignacia Creek. The plan provides flood protection to over 250 homes and 2 schools. Altogether, construction works exceeding $5 million in cost are planned. A fast-track schedule is set up to have the features of the plan in place before the storm season. Conceptual design work and efforts by the Public Works Department to acquire land for the debris basins literally start while the fire is still burning.
There are going to be substantial impacts, and unfortunately the mitigation measures which are mentioned here, while they...
Strong resistance from some local environmental groups and state and federal regulatory agencies forces the Flood Control District to present and defend the planned elements item by item in public at weekly Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors meetings. After unanimous approval of the plan by the board, permits have to be secured from the Army Corps of Engineers and the California Department of Fish and Game. The regular permit application process is too time-consuming to be completed before the winter storm season. With both agencies resisting issuing the required permits on an emergency basis, the entire plan is in jeopardy. Only after a write-in campaign by residents and through the efforts of Senator Hart and Representative Lagomarsino does the Flood Control District receive the required permits. The emergency permit issued by the Army Corps of Engineers specifically excludes Atascadero Creek, despite the district's warning that there is a 30% chance of bank overflow and flooding with the coming storm season. Atascadero Creek collects nearly all of the drainage from the burned watersheds. For the debris basins, creek clearing, and emergency levees, however, the path is free. Flood Control District personnel designed and supervised construction of the debris basins, which means excavating and moving 78,000 cubic yards of soil and rock. Burke Construction Company performs the work on a very tight schedule by orchestrating the movements of up to 2 scrapers, 2 excavators, 4 dozers, and 10 trucks in confined space. The debris basins are designed to collect sediment, rock, and boulders, yet allow the storm runoff to be passed downstream. 16 miles of creek are cleared of burned vegetation and snags by flood control personnel with assistance of the California Youth Authority teams. Close to 1/3 of a mile of emergency levees are provided for a critical section of Maria Ignacia Creek. Sandbags and concrete center dividers, commonly seen on highways, are placed in a narrow right-of-way between the creek bank and private backyards. All features of the Emergency Watershed Protection Plan are completed and in place by the first week of November, ready to take on the first storms of the season. A party is held with the residents, the contractor, the county and Soil Conservation Service personnel to celebrate the successful completion of the project. What would have taken 2 to 4 years under normal circumstances was completed in 104 calendar days. While the flood control district's preparations are right on schedule, the winter rains are not. Rather than beginning the storm season in November, nature gives Santa Barbara a continuing drought with no significant rainfall until March of 1991. However, as if to make up for the late start, March comes in like the proverbial lion.